Hello and how you doing, and welcome back to Two Jagoffs. I am your host, Austin Cairns, and we're right here in Point Park University's Media Hub for yet another interview. And ladies and gentlemen, I talked about on the podcast recently, I kind of wanted to step away from talking to some of the wrestlers because respectfully, they've been picking on me the whole time. So today we're going to change things up and we're going to go back to my roots, and we're going to bring on a politician here in the state of Pennsylvania, someone that I got to know pretty well over the last couple months, and someone that I actually met at Teresa Cale Smith, a former guest of Two Jagoff, her retirement party. So ladies and gentlemen, please welcome the one and only Senator Wayne Fontana. It's good to see you, Wayne.
Thank you. Great to be here.
Thank you so much for coming down. Sorry about the bad weather outside. I feel like every time I do a podcast, there's always crappy weather outside.
It could be worse, so I'm okay with it.
It could be worse. It could be like that snowstorm we had a couple weeks ago. So
Exactly.
I will pass that one up. So you're serving as senator here in Pennsylvania. So for the people who may not know you, do you mind sharing what exactly your position is and how long you've been doing it for?
Yeah, I'm a state senator. I represent the 42nd Senatorial District, which includes downtown, but you can draw a circle around downtown, and I go in every single direction into certain parts of the city, and it's certainly in some of the suburbs around the city. I've been doing it for the last 20 years or so. I'm up for re-election right now, so maybe, hopefully, 4 more years after that, and then a big decision will have to be made at that point. But I enjoy it. A lot of things happening, a lot of excitement about the future here in Pittsburgh.
Couldn't agree more, and I feel like that's pretty cool now because we have a new mayor that's now in town, Mayor Corey O'Connor. What has it been like working with him so far?
So far, so good. I've known Corey a long time. I knew his father, so I got back a ways, and so I encouraged him to run. I thought the city might be going in the wrong direction, and so we had a lot of conversations before he actually pulled the trigger and decided to run. So, I communicate often with him. It's all about working together. It's all about those relationships. I represent half the city, the other half's the suburbs around it. But, working with a new mayor and a newer county executive actually inspired me to run again because you see a lot of hope. You see that the possibilities for Pittsburgh are enormous. So I'm happy to be a senator and represent the city of Pittsburgh and the surrounding suburbs.
And as someone who's a current student that goes to school downtown, and as someone who's just been getting into politics recently, it's pretty cool seeing a mayor that I feel like I can relate to. So like when Governor Shapiro ran for the state of Pennsylvania, as a student and as someone younger, I was able to relate to him a little bit more. I felt more engaged when I saw him on social media, his interviews. I was like, yeah, this is the kind of guy that feels like he's looking ahead for the future of Pennsylvania. And I feel that same way with Corey O'Connor with Pittsburgh.
He's a listener. He's someone that listens and before he talks. Mm-hmm. And you get when you sit with him, you get the impression that he is listening to you. It's not just going in one ear and out the other. He's actually thinking about what you're saying and see how he can apply it to his job as the mayor of the city of Pittsburgh. So to your point, yeah, it's different. And he's not just listening to the younger generation. He's listening to everybody, and that's what it's supposed to be.
What was your first impression like when you first met Corey O'Connor?
Well, honestly, I met him when he was young and before he was even on city council. But I've watched his career over the years, and my impression was he has it. He has the fire to be an elected official and to follow in his father's footsteps. And he certainly, I think, is illustrating that as we speak.
No, couldn't agree more. And the 3 conversations that I've had with him, 2 before he became mayor, 1 after he became mayor, he is just such a down-to-earth guy. So definitely love Corey O'Connor. I kind of want to go back in time a little bit, though, before you got into politics and before you ran for state senator. I guess imagine yourself as your younger self. Where exactly did you see yourself going? Did you always see yourself becoming a state senator, running with politics, or did you have a different career path?
Yeah, not at all. Politics, quite frankly. I ran for county council first. That was in 99, the first county council that changed to a citizens panel. It was supposed to be a citizens, by district. So I won by 200 votes, and here I was. It was a part-time thing. And I did it because I was in real estate. I've done a lot of things in my life. And, I thought, part-time gig, it would be nice. By referendum, citizens would have more say in government. That's how the county government was supposed to be set up back in those days. Little of that has happened over the years. It's not, you don't see too many referendums or initiatives being done by the citizens. So I was ready to get out. I mean, that was just a part-time thing, and I was a manager, actually, a sales manager for Howard Hanna back in the day in Green Tree, and the Senate seat opened up, and folks came to me and said, hey, you have a little bit of name recognition from county council. You want to take a shot, we'll support you. And again, I went to Howard Hanna, I went to Haughty, and I went to others in my family, and so what do you think? And, took a shot, but I was I was in the 50 years old. I was like, I didn't aspire to be a politician. In fact, the opposite. What enticed me was that first government thing, and I thought, well, it'd be nice to have a say in what happens in our government. So, and then I ran and I ended up winning, obviously, and here I am 20 years later. So, it's been quite a trip. No regrets in those decisions. I think fate sometimes dictates how your life goes, and you have to make decisions at those moments.
And I can tell you enjoyed your position as well. I can and tell you enjoy helping out and giving back to other people. But is there ever some times within your role and within what you're doing as state senator that maybe like it is a little bit rough, or maybe you face some backlash?
Well, I mean, they say that the day you're the most popular is the day you're elected. And after that, it goes downhill because you start to put up votes, you start to, you have opinions, and not everybody's on the same page. I'm supposed to represent the majority of my, whether they're Democrat or Republicans or independents or nonpartisans or whatever. But the fact of the matter is that, you get pushback on decisions and votes that you make. It happens.
What would you say your proudest moment is so far when as state senator? Is there maybe like something that was signed or maybe some act that happened that you were a part of that you're like, yeah, I'm glad that I have my name attached to that?
Yeah, it's hard. It's hard for us in the Senate because, I'm a Democrat and we're in the minority, so it's hard to get legislation through. But what's happening with our lead lines right now in the city of Pittsburgh, that was my legislation, to be able to authorize the city of Pittsburgh to replace the lead laterals to everybody's house. And it's going on as we speak. Plus, gave them an opportunity to borrow money from Penvest, which is a state organization, so they could continue the work. And they're probably 90% done by now, but it's been years, and no one talks about that. And that's one thing. I just got Alerta, which is for economic development through the fiscal code in last year's budget to help develop downtown. That's going to be used a lot in the revitalization of downtown Pittsburgh. And then, my background's in real estate. I got a municipal lien bill through, which expedites foreclosure so the land bank can take the properties and resell them. So, and on top of that, it's the money. You bring back funding for nonprofits and for-profits to create jobs, family-sustaining jobs, but also on the nonprofit side to help these folks, display and the human services that people need, whatever it might be, housing, food, education, whatever. I'm the chair of the Sports and Exhibition Authority, which I've been on a long time. You get elected to that spot, and I'm also the chair, which I think I'm going to get elected tomorrow, to FIA, which is the Pennsylvania Higher Education Authority. So I've been on there a few years as chair. So education's a big deal too, obviously, and we've done a lot with grants. We've done a lot with student programs, whether it be for teachers, shortages, or nurses. So all that's good.
And of course, you mentioned the revitalization of downtown Pittsburgh. Obviously, I know there's this big expansion. That's something that Corey has talked about multiple times. Is there maybe something specific that you're looking forward to aside from what you just mentioned, or were you on a pretty good track right now?
Yeah, we're on a good track. I mean, we're negotiating, try to get a hotel actually up near the convention center, right up against the convention center.
Oh, okay.
That's going to be a big deal. That's going to be an upscale hotel, which we, need one here in Pittsburgh. Working with the chamber on trying to identify funds that we can use to revitalize the buildings downtown. Obviously, they all can't be converted back to what they were. Might have to, do housing. How much affordable housing should you have? How much market rate housing should you have? So all those things are on the table. But yeah, I'm looking forward to that. And we have a new owner in Station Square. We have a soccer team that wants to grow over there. So there's a lot of exciting things happening.
When you say you represent the 42nd district, correct?
Yeah.
I don't know how much this affects your role, but obviously I know this is dramatically affecting a lot of politicians downtown, especially going into the next couple months. The NFL draft is coming to Pittsburgh, and that's a big deal. And as a student, personally, I'll be honest, I'm a little worried knowing that there is so much going on downtown with all the different people coming in. Do you happen to know what exactly some of the plans are, I guess maybe from Mayor O'Connor or maybe from people within your district?
Well, obviously I represent downtown, so, you draw the circle. They're only crossing the river from the North Shore to go to Point State Park. So that's That's the only, but there will be the spillover, right, the downtown. But the North Shore will get it all, but get most of it. That's where the stage is and all that sort of thing. But it's mostly the plans are being made. We get some updates along the way. But the plans is the NFL takes control. They come in and take control. The Steelers and Visit Pittsburgh are part of it, but a lot of folks are going to get displaced and parking over on the North Shore. They'll probably be coming to downtown and looking for spots, right, for a few weeks. Because it's not only the 3 days, it's setting up and tearing down. That takes up more time. So it's going to be exciting, though. We're on display here in Pittsburgh. We have a lot to offer folks. So you hope that they want to come back, whether it be tourism or just maybe when they're getting recruited for a job. And it makes a difference.
Yeah, there's a lot for Pittsburgh to offer to downtown. I mean, the 3 major sports teams, PNC Park, in my opinion, the most beautiful ballpark out there. Yeah. There's a bunch of great businesses, a bunch of great restaurants. So, I mean, for people that's coming in, it's going to be great. But then the people that's going to be here, it's going to be like, man, traffic's going to be 10 times worse.
You can't even try.
No, there's no way.
Right? I was telling them that, I represent Mount Washington too, but I could just see all these folks lined up on Grandview Avenue looking over and seeing what's going on the North Shore and that sort of thing, especially if it's good weather. Let's hope it's good weather. But there's going to be quite a amount of folks going into other areas. So it's not only is downtown going to be crowded, in my opinion, because you're going to have all these visitors coming in. So you're going to have a Mount Washington and all the way around the Strip District. There's going to be a lot of folks. You won't be able to get a hotel, I'm sure, within a lot of miles, I would imagine.
No, I know a lot of schools downtown. I can't speak for others, but Point Parkway, where I go, obviously they said they're doing remote that entire week.
Yeah.
Like they're like, no, we're not even going to try and have classes. Which thank goodness, because personally I'm a commuter student. I don't live on campus, so I could only imagine trying to take the bus in every single day, especially the day of the draft.
Well, and I'm sure a lot of roads will be closed. I think that's part of what's going on now. They're trying to determine what roads and routes are going to be closed and how you reroute people. So that plan's all happening.
Of course. And I find it interesting you said the NFL's coming in and taking over because, I mean, like, when they come in, that entire area over in North Shore is just going to be completely gone for them.
Right.
Like
it's all gone. All the parking's gone, and all those folks that park over there have to get relocated. And so somebody's losing money because of it, whether it be, the parking authority or Mr. Stabile or the SEA who owns some of the lots. There has to be some compensation, and that's being negotiated, too, as we speak.
Now, you know my dad pretty well. He's the president for the Teamsters, obviously, Local 636. He's been on this podcast several times. But something that me and him talk about a lot on air and also off air is the importance of unions. He's a big union guy. He loves supporting unions. And I love to ask politicians this question. I've asked Anita Kulik this, Teresa Kale-Smith this, Sam Bigham this, and I would love to ask you this as well. What's your thoughts on unions, and why is it so important to you?
Well, I go way back, and, I just mentioned part of my careers before I got into the political life. I was a Boilermaker back in the day, and I was a Teamster for Local 211. I drove a truck for the Pittsburgh Post-Gazette and Pittsburgh Press. Those jobs, as I was young and having a family and growing up, they changed my life. You got a decent wage, decent benefits. Made a big difference, especially when I went down to the Post-Gazette. So I spent 11 and a half years there, and then it was a strike and a buyout and all that kind of stuff, and I moved into real estate full-time after that. But unions are the middle class. They're the sustaining wage that folks need to stabilize any community. And so I'm a big union person. I believe in it. I believe in what they do and how they do it. And so, I can't say anything more, elaborate any more than that, just to say they're essential. And Pittsburgh's a union town, and it should be, and I'm proud of that. We bring money back from the state. Folks ask for, grants and things like that, but you got to build union then. If you're going to take that money, you're going to have to build union because we believe in those wages. You have to give a decent wage and have a decent benefits. Everyone deserves that for the work that they do.
Absolutely, and as someone who grew up in a union family, I could always see the importance of it to other people because, I mean, not only are you hardworking, not only are you that classic middle class worker, you're also the type of person that's always willing to give back to communities, give back to others, and that's something I learned from my dad, and I hope that my generation, who's going to be taking over soon, learns the importance of that so they can apply it to their everyday life.
Yeah, and they step up just like a lot of the foundations and corporations in this town to help charitable things that we do. I have a charity golf thing for cancer. They're always participating, and so it's not just that the work, and it's not just the benefits. They care about the community and how it works. How many times I've called a union leader, and said we got to crunch the numbers to try to get this project done. They're all receptive. They try real hard. They're not in the way of development. They want to be part of it and promote it also, and they do that.
I'm glad they don't let the politics side of things get in the way either. They're just like, hey, let's just get this done. We have something. We're going to accomplish it any way we can.
It's not a Democrat-Republican thing.
No.
It's about what's best for the community and certainly what's best for their members. They want them to, have a job and go to work. Jobs are where it's at. I mean, and good jobs and being able to have money to send their sons to college, to Point Park or wherever, that's what it's all about. And so the unions are a big part of that.
You mentioned the cancer golf thing. Do you mind talking about that a little bit? I found that interesting.
Yeah, so my granddaughter, they're down in Delaware, close to Rehoboth, which is nice. But she developed cancer in her leg at 3, so she lost her leg to cancer back then. So that I always had a sort of a picnic and that type of thing since I started in politics, but I ended up changing it to a golf outing, and I raised $20,000 a year for Children's Hospital here in Pittsburgh for the Free Care Fund and cancer research. Now, she's down in Delaware. She don't get the benefit of that. But that time, when, the prognosis and we realized that she was going to lose her leg, it was, pretty traumatic for all of us in the family. And so that was sort of the inspiration to do it. So I've been doing it for the last 6 years. I raised $20,000 a year.
Oh, nice.
Sell a ticket to go to Laurel Valley to golf, package for 6 people to go. And so it's a fun thing. It turns out that's why I call it the Fest. It's kind of a fun thing. Laurel Valley, if you're a golfer, everybody wants to go to Laurel Valley, apparently. I'm not much of a golfer, but so we have the lunch and we have the, cigar and do whatever and have a good time. So I've been doing that 6 years. We raised some money, and I'll continue to do it as long as I can.
Sounds like a growing project, too. It sounds like it's getting better and better every single year.
And sometimes I raise more than 20. Some people don't golf, but they just want to donate, right?
Oh, that's so cool.
Yeah, so it's not about the golf. It's about the cause, and it's about and UPMC is a big promoter for me. They help fund the project because you got to pay for the golf, and it's expensive out there. So they're on board, but they give me so much money, and I give them more back. Basically, is what happens there. So I appreciate their sponsorship.
No, that's so cool too, because I feel like people within your position, obviously, I believe that they should be using their platform to do something good like that, and some sort of charity or some sort of special event like that that people could look forward to every single year. I mean, that's what it's all about.
Yeah, and it's caught on, and it's something that certainly proud of. It's almost the same people every year that do it. We send out email blasts and all this. We got all this going on. My staff helps me on their own time. Everybody gets into it, so that's nice.
It's nice, too, because I'll actually share a story with you. I recently did my own charity for the first time. Point Park, they host their own they host a charity every single year called Day of Giving, which essentially is a way that they raise a bunch of money to help fund different student-funded trips, scholarships, grants, stuff like that. And they asked me, because obviously I have a podcast, they're like, hey, you're comfortable being on camera. Would you like to do some social media promos for us and try and promote this Day of Giving? I'm like, yeah, absolutely. I would love to. And we set a goal of a couple 100,000, and we would see where it goes. And then from there, they were like, yeah, we also want to do a hype event to try and, raise more money and bring people together and bring alumni in and make a networking event happen. I'm like, okay, cool. I was like, what did you guys do last year? And they said, we did a pie in the face event where we pied the president. And I'm like, okay, I get the concept, but let's be honest, that's kind of high schoolish. That's kind of childish there. I was like, let's do a live variation of my podcast in front of the students, because Pat McAfee, he did his big night out show downtown, and you probably remember this. It raised hundreds of thousands of dollars for people in Pittsburgh. So I'm like, let's do the same thing here at Point Park. So I hosted the events. We brought in some former Pirates players. We brought in broadcasters, We brought in some people from Copa, Broadway, and then I even had a wrestler come down. And we put on this big live event that was about a 2-hour special, and we ended up raising $360,000 that night.
That's awesome.
So that was one of the things that I was proud of. And I'm assuming that you could probably speak from this by doing your golf outing as well. the proud moment that you have knowing that you're helping others just goes a long way in the end.
And they put me on TV, around Christmas time when they do the
Oh,
free
yeah,
care
yeah,
fund. So I get to go on TV and talk, tell the story a little bit about why I'm doing it. So they're very appreciative of it. They send me a plaque sometime with a picture of a child on it through the year and keep me updated on research. Some goes to the free care fund, some goes to the research to try to eliminate cancer, childhood cancer. But yeah, it's and I tour over there obviously, and seeing the kids. Some of it breaks your heart, but it does inspire you to keep the golf outings going. Got to keep them going.
I'm surprised that you're doing that and you're not even that big of a golfer. You don't like playing golf at all?
Well, I don't know if you're a golfer or not, but you got to practice to be any good at it.
That is true.
And
I'm not.
And I've golfed my whole life on and off, but never got any good at it because I didn't have the time to put into it. So, but it's a social thing, and my son golfs, so I drag him along, and he can host with me. And sometimes I go and don't even golf; I just host it.
Just got to be there, and enjoy it.
Yeah, I'll have the lunch with them, and then I'll sit and watch them and smoke a cigar and have my laptop and work at the same time, and then they come back and we'll have what we call a 19th hole. You can imagine what that is. Maybe a cocktail and
yeah,
that good cigar, and they're on their way. But it's fun. And the unions, as I said, the first one I think I had, IBW Local 3 here. Mike Dunleavy was the president then. They won it the first year that I had it. So there's a lot of participation from all aspects of Pittsburgh, whether it's unions or corporations or attorneys or business folks or just regular people that want to golf. So it's a $100 ticket. It's not all that big of a deal, and you get to golf with 5 other people and go to Lower Valley. So.
Hey, it's something to do, and I mean, the 19th hole sounds fun to me. So, sign me up. I'm 22, by the way, but sign me up for it.
Yeah. We were moderation.
Moderation. There we go.
Yep.
I wanted to ask you about this because I know that this has been affecting some other people. Obviously, that's been getting into politics recently. We've seen the growth of social media. We've seen the growth of technology, AI, all that kind of stuff. How exactly is that affecting your position at all? Has that dramatically affected you at all? Have you used that to your benefit, or has it been kind of obsolete to you?
It's growing within our, we have obviously the media, the IT that's within our own Senate caucus. So yeah, it's searching and getting information, and that sort of thing. It helps a lot because it saves time, right? And so we're using that, and even on the political side, running for office, that type of thing. It's become a big deal. I'm running right now. I'm hiring people to know that stuff and get out there. People are looking at it more and more, no matter what age you are. So it's definitely affecting. But for Pittsburgh, I think even beyond it, AI and what we have here, they had the summits here not too long ago. I actually attended some of them because I wanted to learn more about it because I think we have an opportunity here in Pittsburgh to have that as part of a renaissance here. If you're too young to remember the previous renaissances, but there were, and here we are again. We can use AI to bring more and more corporations in, and there a lot of them are out of Bakery Square out that way, and I keep saying, what's wrong with downtown? We have buildings here that we can revitalize to help that. You want to hub them, right? You want them all basically in the same area, but that's not that it's that far. And of course, CMU and Pitt and Point Park, and we have great universities here that feed to that, the talent, and we want that talent to stay here. So we need to grow and have corporations come in, and AI is the future. There's no question.
I agree with that, and I feel like so many people are looking at AI as like the evil that's coming up, which, again, I can kind of understand. Sure, if you make the movie comparisons or whatever, you can kind of see it there. But, I mean, in all fairness, as a student who does use AI within school, obviously for good purposes, it is the future, and, I mean, it is the new way of learning, and I feel like it's something we got to adapt to.
Yeah, I think as a legislator, we have to see what the downfalls are and try to legislate it and put regulations on it. Yeah, I know we don't like too many regulations, but this is new. And we're not so. There's some bad things that are happening with it. I mean, you hear it on the news every day. So we have to try to control that. You can't be something that you're not. You can't act like you're somebody that you're not. And some of that stuff's happening. They can you look like you, talk like you, act like you, and it's kind of scary, I guess, in some capacity. So we need to, as legislators, we need to figure out how to control it and make sure it doesn't do the bad things that it can do.
Of course, because I mean, like when I was using AI for the first time, like obviously it's like a nice little like checker. Like if I'm writing a paper or something, I could just throw it in there and be like, hey, can you check for any grammatical errors, or can you make sure my citations are correct? And then like the bad part of it, my little sister who likes to make funny videos plugs in a picture of me and makes me start dancing. And I'm like, well, how'd you do that? I'm like, that's just a random picture you took in December, and now I'm dancing with the dog doing the Macarena. It's like, what's going on?
Yeah, and that's what we have to be cautious of, and so companies exploit, and we have to be careful and try to get control of that.
Of course, well, that doesn't mean that AI is going to be taken over soon. So, I mean, we'll just have to wait and see how that goes.
There's a lot of things it's nothing like this. You can't beat the one-on-one, I think, anyway.
I mean,
agree. That's something that can help. But when it comes right down to it, it's relationships with each other that matter. And even in my business as a political person, I mean, it's getting along. It's knowing who to talk to and when to talk to them and when to compromise and find a middle ground to move things forward. Mm-hmm. And that takes relationships, personal relationships.
I have a lot of students that listen to this podcast, and one of the key messages that I love to talk to people about is networking and obviously building your connections, building your portfolio. And as someone who's been experienced and been within a career for quite a long time, I'd like to maybe have you share some advice maybe with some of the students that are listening or just fellow listeners of the podcast. What advice would you give on students to networking? Because personally, I believe networking and growing your connections every single day is very important in any kind of career that you're getting into. How can you relate that to yours?
I think for students and even for my grandkids, you got to carve out time for away from your phone and away from your laptop. You have to find time to interact with your colleagues and your folks that you play ball with or you're in a certain club with. You have to communicate, personal communication. You can't, the AI and all that helps get you where you're going. But it helps. It isn't the save all. You really have to have, and you have to work at it. Nothing's easy, right? But you have to think about: am I on this phone too much? Am I on this laptop too much? How much time did I spend talking to my colleague and hanging out and doing the things that you like to do? So networking is important, but let's say personal networking. Not just, you can network. I can text you and you text me and all that kind of stuff. But there's more to it than that. When are you going to get together and sit and just talk or go to a movie or whatever, or, go to a ball game? When are you going to do that? And don't rule that out and make an effort to do it. Make an effort to actually interact with your neighbors, your friends, people around you, your student colleagues. Got to do it.
Professors, anybody.
Yeah, absolutely.
I always say that try and grab a cup of coffee with someone. If you're of age, try and grab a beer with someone. Maybe go grab some dinner. Just something like that. Just go out and have a conversation with people because we get way too lost in these little things right here. So
no doubt about it. And so my phone tells me how much time I spent week to week.
Oh, you have that?
So this week you spent less time, or this week you spent more time. And I'm thinking about, well, what did I do to make it more time? Maybe there was more inquiries about legislation. Okay. But if it's taking me away from, my family or my friends, then that's not a good thing.
Not at all. I'll sometimes catch myself watching videos and I'm like, wait a minute, how long have I been on this phone for? I'm like, oh crap, I could have been doing something else more productive, and here we are.
Yeah, and people have that with TV and stuff like that too. But you become antisocial. You got to be careful. You really do.
No, you really do. You really do. One of the things we mentioned earlier in this episode was the Pittsburgh Riverhounds, obviously winning a championship, and I kind of want to dive into the little sports side of things for a second, talking about policy and talking about the city itself. Obviously the Pittsburgh Steelers have not won a Super Bowl since I think 2010 or 2009. The Pittsburgh Pirates haven't won a World Series in God knows how long, and the Penguins haven't won a Stanley Cup since 2017. The Riverhounds, I guess, one of the first major teams that have finally brought a championship home to Pittsburgh. And obviously, I've talked to folks within Highmark Stadium. They're looking to grow and they're looking to expand that place. What does it mean to someone who's working in politics right now, and how exactly does that affect the city?
Oh, it's tourism. It brings people in. The thing about the Riverhounds is that what a lot of folks don't realize, and I didn't grow up with soccer, even though my son played a little bit in high school, but some of us are going, that's boring compared to baseball, or not baseball so much, but football or basketball. But it's growing big time here in Pittsburgh. So the fact that, and I know them, it's in my district. That's my Senate district. They're all in my district, all the teams. So talking to Tuffy Schulenberger, who owns the Riverhounds, I can remember going back, and he'd get 300 people or something in there. So you got to win. Pittsburgh wants to win. So I give him credit. He went out and got a team, winning coach, and all that. And this was a big deal. He packed that place over capacity during the playoffs. They were tailgating in the parking lot like they do for the Steelers and the Pirates. So it's catching on, and that venue over there can be a concert venue also. So they have a lot of plans. It's right there with Station Square. The incline's right across the street. Trying to get everybody to coordinate and talk to each other. But the fact that we have the professional teams, and that including, and we have the cultural district, and we have the arts here. I mean, we have so much to offer. We just have to make sure that everybody can sustain themselves and keep a winning team. And you don't have to win this Super Bowl every year, but you want to have a winning team. That was always the difference, I thought, between maybe the Steelers and the Pirates. Pirates lately are stepping up, trying to get some decent ball players. But the Steelers always tried to win year in, year out, where the Pirates are trying to build to that point. And maybe they're there now. I don't know. They probably need a couple more players to really compete. But, this is a baseball. People love baseball in this town for years and years. I like baseball. People say, it's boring. Baseball, every pitch, if you're into it, every pitch means something. People move. It's what curveballs, whatever it might be. So, yeah, it's the tourism to bring people back. Why they come here, it means a lot. The economic impact of the teams, the economic impact of the arts, is big time for Pittsburgh. It really helps the tax base.
And I had the current host of like the in arena stuff, Kyle Archer for the Pittsburgh Riverhounds. He recently was on the podcast, and it was right after they won the championship. And he said that he has never, in the last couple of years of him working there, he has never seen that stadium as packed as it was. Over capacity. That's insane.
Yeah, standing room only, and that, and the fact that they won. Giving the ownership the ability to move up in league, but you have to have a bigger stadium to do that. And it's a lot of money to build and add on. The Steelers want to add on to theirs. The Pirates want updates there. So there's a lot of money being asked for and trying to raise for the teams. But people want that. They want to go there and feel good about it and see the fancy scoreboards and all that kind of stuff. And so it costs a lot of money to do that thing. So we have to decide as the taxpayers, how much they want to participate in something like this going forward. But there is, without a doubt, a big-time economic impact by the teams.
Fully agree, and especially with the Riveters playing there, the Thunderbirds playing there, and other schools even come down there and do stuff. Point Park, their soccer games and lacrosse games are actually played there now.
Oh, good.
So I've had the privilege of actually calling some of the games at Highmark Stadium, and it's beautiful, beautiful stadium. Yeah. So can't wait to see the growth.
Yeah, we're all got our fingers crossed. We're looking for funding sources to help him grow. And I said that a new owner just bought Station Square, so you're trying to coordinate. People working together, that's what matters. And I said they called me, the new owner, and I said, if you talk to Tuffy, so you want everybody to talk to one another because you never know, how it's going to work through and how they can work together to make it better and save money.
Goes back to the connections we talked about earlier, all about having those conversations and building those personal relationships.
Don't send an email. Pick up the phone and call.
Yep, make that phone call.
Yeah, absolutely.
How much do you keep up with sports downtown, like with the teams itself? Do you keep up with the Pirates, Steelers, and Penguins quite a bit, or are you not as?
Yeah, I do. I mean, I'm more of a football, baseball, fan than I am a Penguin hockey fan. I didn't grow up with hockey, so
that's fair.
It's not so much it. But if I'm flipping channels and I see Penguins, I'll stop and watch it. If it's just a regular hockey game, I don't know much. But I watch football. I watch baseball. I played a little baseball when I was young. My son played a little baseball, so I'm into it. Listen, I try. We're trying to we put a feeler out for basketball for women's basketball here in Pittsburgh.
Oh, like a WNBA team.
Yeah, we did some exploring, and they're picking cities, but you need a big investor, and that's something we're not sure that we have here, but we'd love to see it here.
That would be amazing. Even just an NBA team or I mean, either or would be amazing.
We did a little study, and yeah, we've had men's basketball here. It just doesn't work. This time's funny. They're, high school and college is popular basketball.
Yeah.
And these NBA teams didn't make it in the past. We figure the women basketball is really taking off, and there might be something there for that. And that's kind of what the feedback we got back on a quick study we did. So it's just a matter of trying to find somebody that would willing to invest. Maybe Mark Cuban or somebody would like to invest.
Yeah, Mark Cuban. Hey,
Yeah.
Call him up. Let's go, Mark.
In a women's team, since he has a men's team. But we'll see. But again, it's tourism and it's economic impact.
Yeah.
Without a doubt.
It's all about. And you said you keep up with the Steelers quite a bit too. What's your thoughts on the new head coaching signing?
I love it.
You do?
I ran into Art Rooney not too long ago, and he asked that question. And I know a lot of people say, we need a younger guy. But he's a hometown guy. Do you think he's going to come here and not want to win for his hometown? He grew up in Greenfield. Absolutely. So I'm fine with it. He brings in the right people, and, it's like myself. I surround myself with a great staff. They make me look good. And that's what he has to do. Surround himself with a good staff.
Yeah, that's a good point, because whenever he first got signed, I'll be honest, I was one of the people that was like, no, this is an awful move. I was like, why are you bringing him in? And then I thought about it. I'm like, okay, wait a minute. He's changing up the entire staff. Like, he's completely revitalizing the team, which is something, honestly, they needed to do.
And his enthusiasm. I mean, he's obviously fired up to be here and want to be here and want to win. So it's not like he's, hey, I'm at the end of my career, I'm just going to ride this out. I don't think that's the attitude here. The attitude is he come in to win. So I'm okay with it. I have no issue whatsoever with that. And I give the Steelers a lot of credit for wanting to continue to be a good team. Yes, we want to get it to the Super Bowl, but they have just like the Steelers or the Pirates. You have a formula, and hope it works.
Do you like the Aaron Rodgers? Do you think Aaron Rodgers is back next year or no?
I don't think I mean, if he is, he's I don't know if he'd start. Maybe he'll be a mentor to somebody. I think they're going to probably look for another veteran, maybe Cousins, maybe, someone that can come in until they get to not this draft, but the following draft, maybe have more quarterbacks to choose from. But I don't know if he'll come back, unless the quarterback we have is somebody they feel like they can mentor and make into something. Maybe he comes back for that. But I think they might be looking for, another veteran. I'm not sure why he would want to come back, quite frankly.
No, totally agree. I feel like they should go someone younger. They also got Will Howard on their team,
That's
too.
what I'm saying.
So
maybe he has more. Yeah, maybe he has more potential than we know.
Yeah, never know. And I mean, I feel like they also need to get another receiver too. I mean, I love DK, but you got to have somebody else. DK was double teamed every play.
You got to do it. In fact, they're being projected in this draft. The first round would be I forget the guy's name. They're projecting to pick a receiver. So yeah, that could be their first round pick, a receiver.
What's your thoughts on the Pirates recently?
Well, as I mentioned earlier, I think the signing of some of these players is certainly an upgrade to what they had. I still think they have some spots that they need to fill. Now they're going to be juggling people around. Gonzalez might go to third or short for a while, unless Connor Griffin comes up. I mean, they still have a lot of question marks, even catching. They need some offense, right? I think they have some obviously decent pitching, but he spent a little more money this year. I was at the Pirate Fest, a month or so ago, and I seen Mr. Nutty, and he seems to be excited. Last year I went down to Pirate City actually for a while. I had never done that before, so I am a baseball fan. I'm actually going to see a couple of Pirate spring training games coming up next week actually.
Oh, nice.
So my son and I go. We're going to watch down to Boston, Fort Myers, and watch them play Boston. But anyway, so yeah, we'll see. We'll start to see how it progresses. I know it looks like McCutcheon's not coming back from what I can tell here, unless there's something happens and they decide to put him on the team. I don't know. But anyway, I think it's an upgrade. I just don't know if we're there though. Maybe they get over 500.
Over 500, you think?
Yeah.
See, I thought that too, but I don't know. This team is so different now, but in the good way too, because they went out and actually explored and spent money, which was honestly the biggest criteria of them. They were saying no, you need to actually go out there and spend money, and they finally did this offseason. So who knows?
They finally did, and believe me, Mr. Nutty reminded me of that he did it when I seen him recently. It's because we're always. I mean, again the chair of the Sports and Exhibition Authority. We have a lease, and part of that lease is we have to pay so much maintenance. Well, in order to fill the fund, you get $1 off ticket sales. Well, if no one's going in the stadium, your fund's depleting. So you want to get more people in there. So if you're playing at least 500 ball, you're gonna get more sellouts here and there. It won't be just because of a concert or giving a shirt away. So you want you want a decent team on the field. And again, the Steelers do that all the time, and hopefully this is the start of that for the Pirates.
No, fully agree. And I will say this. I'm a Pirates fan. I'm a Penguins fan. I'm a big Pitt Panther fan. I have season tickets for Pitt. But I'm actually not a Steelers fan, surprisingly.
Oh,
you would be shocked. I would like you to take a guess on what team I'm a fan of. You're not.
Oh, wait a minute. You mean
NFL team.
Don't say Dallas.
No, absolutely not.
Oh,
we had a former host that was a Cowboys fan here, but no. Cowboys fans are the worst. They are the worst.
Well, then it can't be Cleveland. It can't be in the same division.
Not same division. NFC.
Well, then it's Seattle.
Close. Same division as Seattle. Arizona.
Oh, well, that's interesting. You're fighting that. They're probably going to get a new quarterback this year.
Do you know the reason why? Larry Fitzgerald.
Oh,
I'm a big Pitt guy, so when Larry
makes sense.
Larry went to the NFL.
That makes a nice Hall of Fame now.
Yes.
He deserves it. He's a good guy. Yeah, I remember him well. That's Well, that's a fight for you.
It's been a fight for years.
Forget a winning team. We thought Murray was going to do it, but
no.
Looks like they're making a change there.
Yeah, I saw a lot of rumors of them getting actually the Bears' backup Tyson Bagent. I don't know why, but that's the rumors that's been. Yeah, it's been in NFL media recently. I'm like, okay, I mean, like he's good, but he was undrafted D2 player. I don't know if that's really going to help us.
Sure, I think they're going to have to do a little better. But anyway, So you're going to have your fingers crossed all year.
Oh, my fingers are going to be crossed all year long. It's going to be awful. It's funny, too, because my dad grew up being a Chiefs fan. So, obviously, I didn't like the Steelers because he didn't like the Steelers. And I really didn't care for the Chiefs because he liked the Chiefs. So, I was like, okay, I got to find my own team. And when I found out Larry's in the league, I'm like, boom, Cardinals.
Oh, well, he's somebody, certainly a good mentor.
Oh, yeah. Very respectful,
and
too.
A good example for kids. He's done a lot back for Pittsburgh. So, over the years, don't forget where you came from.
No, not at all. Not at all. He's like the true embodiment of what it means to be a Yinzer, the good kind of Yinzer.
Yeah.
So, love to see it.
Yeah.
I do have one final question for you, Senator Fontana. I do appreciate you again so much for coming down and doing this today. And I think my parents might have spoiled this. So, Mom and Dad, if you're listening, why would you spoil my question that I always like to ask people? What's the favorite restaurant? What's the go-to place to grab a meal?
Well, your parents did say that you may ask me that. So,
yeah.
We were staying in a local restaurant at the time, and I thought, well, do I have to say Coach's? Well, and I go to Coach's a lot, there's no doubt about it. But the one place I go more to is Amy's on McNeely Road. They have great food, and all kinds of food, no matter what you like. And Mediterranean food, and there's Italian food, there's everything. So the food's always good, and they're always packed. So that's certainly La Famiglia up on Warrington Avenue is probably another favorite to go to if you want to spend a lot of money. But I most of the time it's Amy's. Sometimes I'll go out to the Galleria because I'm a South Hills guy, and stop at Houlihan's or something like that. Because
I just had that for the first time. Yeah,
out there. So that's my favorite when I go out there. So I'll bounce around those three. Amy's is close to my house, so I'm in and out.
What do you usually get at Amy's? What's the go-to menu item?
If you like the grape leaves, if they have great meatballs. If you just want to get the meatballs, but any of their lamb on a stick or shish kebab, they call it, anything like that is good.
Whew, you're making me hungry now. Dang, that sounds really good.
They're open for lunch.
They're open for lunch?
So they're one of the few that's open for lunch up that way. Yesterday I was actually at Atria's on McFarland Road. There's a new place I'm going to where Scolio's used to be in Foster Plaza. It's not Scolio's; they moved out, but it's Kuchakina Vitali, something like that.
Okay.
It's in Foster Plaza, and that's pretty good. I'll stop there for lunch. But Amy's is probably the
Amy's is a go-to?
top of the list.
One of my go-tos recently that I've had is actually City Works, right down in Market Square. I don't know if you had City Works or not before.
I've been down there.
They're nice. They're a little bit of a fancier place too, but I mean,
I've been downtown, and I mean, usually I'm invited if I got something downtown, whether it be the Capitol Grill or something. But it's nice to know. You know what? I might have been there. That's right in Market Square.
Right in Market Square.
Yeah,
Yep.
I've been there. Actually, I have been there.
Has the fancy revolving door at the front.
It has
Yeah.
a lot of big screens.
Yep.
Yeah, I was in there for I went in there on a Saturday afternoon, and there was some NCAA basketball going on.
Oh, okay.
And I had a couple of beers and a sandwich in there.
Well, there you go.
And
That sounds like a blast.
I was in there. Yeah, it was. It was good. Every once in a while, I'll walk across and go to the Oyster House for old time's sake.
Okay, yeah. I've heard a couple people go there before.
Yeah, I bounce around. So
you'll appreciate this one too. Texas de Brazil down in Station Square. Love me some Brazilian steakhouse.
Yeah, I've not been there in a long, long time. There's something on Smithville Street too, the steak place.
Fuego de Chao, right?
Yeah.
Yep.
And a lot of people have fundraisers there, so I've been in and out of there on occasion. But none of them are my go-to, like Amels is.
That's totally fair. It's funny. It's a running joke on the podcast, like how many people say the steakhouse. We've had like about probably 8 or 9 guests that have said, yeah, Brazilian steakhouse, Texas de Brazil, this and that. So I guess that's the go-to place. But Amels is the first, so we'll take it.
I like steak, but this is they have steaks there too. And everything's always good. They got lobster there. They got anything you want, but it's more of a neighborhood type place, a little more casual.
Yeah,
which is what I like. But that's my place.
It's a little more laid back. Love to see it.
Yep.
Well, Senator Fontana, again, thank you so much for joining me on the podcast today. I would like to give you the final words. Was there anything you would like to leave with the audience or listeners of this podcast before we end things off today?
Oh, I think it's great that you do this, and I think more, besides the name maybe, but everything else is good.
You don't like the name Two Jagoffs?
I love the name. I just don't want to be called that. Maybe I don't know.
I will not call you it. Maybe an honorary one today, but we won't call you that.
There was a word when I was growing up. I mean, we used that word a lot.
Yep.
Even at each other, friends. But it's great you're doing it. I think it's good for the city. It's for folks to really get into it. You're diving into issues. I think it's important that happens. And even though it's media, and they're not talking to you in the room, but it's still better than your phone. It's still better than the laptop. So I'm glad you're doing it. Point Park does a great job. They're certainly a force down here in downtown Pittsburgh. I know they're looking to expand and develop more and more, and I think that's a good thing.
Awesome, and I appreciate the kind words too. So thank you so much for that. And we're looking to grow some more and hopefully have some more guests on, maybe even within your district. Who knows?
That'd be great.
We'll have to make it happen.
That'd be great.
Sweet. Well, thank you all so much for tuning into this episode. Thank you again to Senator Fontana. I'm Austin Cairns, and I'll see you on the next one. Peace.